The Gypsy Rose Blanchard story, on June 14, 2015, concerned friends and neighbors gathered outside a small pink house in Springfield, Missouri. 4 days, they'd been unable to reach Dee Dee Blanchard and her daughter Gypsy Rose. The posts on Gypsy's Facebook account had been disturbing and out of character. Something was very wrong. When police finally entered the home, they found Dee Dee Blanchard lying in her bedroom, stabbed to death. But her daughter Gypsy, the wheelchair-bound, chronically ill young woman who Dee Dee had devoted her life to caring for, was nowhere to be found. Had she been kidnapped? Was she in danger? The community feared the worst. What police discovered in the following days would shock the nation and challenge everything we think we know about victims, abusers, and the nature of love itself. This is not a simple story of murder. It's not a straightforward tale of good versus evil. This is the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a young woman who spent her entire childhood trapped in a web of lies, subjected to unnecessary surgeries, confined to a wheelchair she didn't need, and convinced she was dying from diseases she never had. It's the story of Dee Dee Blanchard, a mother who appeared to be a saint, sacrificing everything for her sick daughter, but who was actually the architect of one of the most disturbing cases of medical child abuse ever documented. And it's the story of how years of abuse, desperation, and a forbidden online romance culminated in a brutal murder that would force us to ask uncomfortable questions. Can a victim also be a criminal? Where does sympathy end and accountability begin? And what happens when the person who loves you most is also your greatest tormentor? Gypsy Rose Blanchard was born on July 27, 1991, in Golden Meadow, Louisiana. Her mother, Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard, was 24 years old. Her father, Rod Blanchard, was only 17. The young couple's relationship didn't last long. Rod and Dee Dee separated before Gypsy was born, though Rod remained involved in his daughter's life, paying child support and maintaining regular contact. By all early accounts, Gypsy was a normal, healthy baby. But when she was around 3 months old, Dee Dee began taking her to doctors with concerns about sleep apnea. It was the beginning of a medical odyssey that would consume Gypsy's entire childhood and beyond. As Gypsy grew, so did the list of her supposed ailments. Dee Dee claimed her daughter had muscular dystrophy, requiring a wheelchair. She said Gypsy had seizures, necessitating multiple medications. She reported learning disabilities and developmental delays that meant Gypsy had the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, even as she grew into her teens. She said Gypsy had leukemia and had undergone chemotherapy, which explained why her hair fell out and why she sometimes wore wigs. The medical conditions kept multiplying. Asthma. Vision problems requiring glasses. Hearing problems requiring a hearing aid. Allergies to sugar, which meant Gypsy needed a feeding tube. Chromosomal defects. The list went on, a catalogue of suffering that painted Gypsy as one of the unluckiest children alive. Dee Dee became her daughter's full-time caretaker, advocate, and voice. She spoke for Gypsy at medical appointments. She answered questions on her behalf. She managed all her medications, her feeding tube, her wheelchair. To the outside world, Dee Dee was a devoted mother, sacrificing her own life to care for her desperately ill child. And people loved her